Hi, I'm Jillian Stavely, the Director of Culture and Land Stewardship at the IPCA Institute. In this short video, we hope to answer the question, what is an IPCA? Indigenous-led conservation is a movement that is reshaping relationships between Indigenous governments and Crown governments, and the Cascadena are very much part of these efforts. In short, an IPCA is an Indigenous protected and conserved area. IPCAs are Indigenous-led, they elevate Indigenous rights and responsibilities, and they reflect Indigenous laws and relationships with the land. They allow us to protect our land using our laws. In this way, they directly advance decolonization and contribute to reconciliation, including through new nation-to-nation relationship agreements with Crown governments. One of the earliest and best-known examples of an Indigenous-led protected area is Guayhanas, which is the Haida-led Heritage Park and National Park Reserve in the Haida Gwaii Archipelago. This was established in 1992 through an unusual at the time agreement between Canada and the Haida. This agreement recognized that both Canada and the Haida were asserting their rights and responsibilities in that area. While the parties disagreed about who had the underlying title, they did agree that the area was important and needed to be protected. Canada and the Haida share decision-making in Guayhanas, and Haida watchmen are employed as Indigenous guardians to look after the important natural and cultural areas in accordance with their laws and values. These kinds of Indigenous-led efforts have been going on for decades, but has only recently started to be called Indigenous Protected and Conserved Areas, or IPCAs. Much work has been done nationally and internationally to recognize Indigenous-led conservation and the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Canada has embraced the idea of IPCAs as a conservation tool and is actively working with Indigenous communities to identify and manage IPCAs on their own terms. A number of new IPCAs have been established since 2018, including the Edéji-Dehcho Protected Area and National Wildlife Area in the Northwest Territories within the Mackenzie Valley near Fort Providence. Edéji is more than twice the size of Banff National Park. The Thai-Denanene Indigenous Protected Area in the eastern arm of Great Slave Lake near Klutsuke in the Northwest Territories is an example of one of the largest protected areas in North America. The federal government has funded many of these proposals over the past 5 years. Many other nations are advancing IPCAs. One of these proposals is in northern Manitoba, where 4 First Nations are working to protect the Seal River watershed, an area the size of Costa Rica, to ensure that the next generation can engage in traditional practices and serve as guardians of their lands and waters. And then there's us, the Casca, working to protect what we call Dene-Kay-Cusson. At 3.9 million hectares or 40,000 square kilometers, it is the largest intact area in British Columbia. For 150 years, Canada has been establishing conservation areas and national parks. Provinces and territories have done the same as a way of exerting control over the land by colonial governments. There are many tragic stories across the country of Indigenous people being displaced from areas that were deemed as protected. Those days and approaches are over. It is our goal that Dene-Kay-Cusson will be established in accordance with Casca people's values, our traditions, our laws, and our governance structures. The Casca will co-manage Dene-Kay-Cusson and employ our guardians to be the eyes and the ears on the ground. This will create jobs for our young people and help ensure a healthy future. Canada and even some regions like British Columbia are beginning to catch up with Indigenous ambitions for sustaining lands and waters. The country is committed to protecting 30% of lands and waters by 2030, and IPCAs are key to meeting that goal. For the Casca Nation, we believe that our IPCA, Dene-Kay-Cusson, is central to building a healthy and prosperous future for our communities and the lands and the waters on which we depend. We invite everyone's support, input, enthusiasm, and hard work to help make this hopeful and exciting vision come true for our nation. Find out more about the Dene-Kay-Cusson Indigenous Protected and Conserved Area at denekaya.com.